My name is Tommy Springfield.
And I'm better than you!
And on this channel, I present you with the facts. I give you my opinion on those facts. And if you like how I do that, click that like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, click all so you can get notifications every time I drop one of these videos. Maybe you've been here before, maybe you new.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
I like to think of myself as a superhero, but you know the ghetto kind. Like Batman, I'm Batman. I live in the Bat Cave. I drive a Batmobile, and I promise you, I'm that nigga. Today's video is about a lady that was married to this man in prison, and she went to get a conjugal visit. If you don't know what that's about or what that means, it means she gets to go to the prison and spend the night with her husband. This man, David Brinson, 4 consecutive life sentences, 20-year determinated sentence, no possibility of parole. Why are you going to visit this man anyway? And he strangled her to death. During the visit, he came out, said my wife passed out. 3 months later, we find out she was strangled to death. So, my question is, yes, it's his fault because he did it, but should she have been going to visit this man? Was this her husband before he did what he did? I don't know. Enough of me talking. Let's get to the story.
We spoke with the victim's family, and they're demanding answers. They want to know why an inmate with such a violent history like this was allowed to have unsupervised visits in the first place.
Now, you see, me and the family is definitely in 2 different places. They want to know why he was able to have unsupervised visits. I want to know why the fuck she was taking her ass up there. We on 2 different... They coming and I'm going.
The most giving, kind-hearted person.
62-year-old Stephanie Dowles was always trying to help others. Her mother, Ovita Wilson, says,
I would often tell my sweetheart, you can't save the world.
Dowles was a mother herself to 2 sons, grandmother to 6. She was a hairstylist and a small business owner in the Los Angeles area.
She a hairstylist, she a business owner. Why is she going to prison to spend the night with this man with 4 consecutive life sentences for, I think, 4 people was murdered? Why are you going to visit this man? You beautiful, you got a business, you could have found any man on the streets.
Known to her family as Stevie. We spoke to them on Zoom.
Stevie was literally the glue that held the family together,
making her loss all the more difficult.
We were just devastated.
Dowles died during an overnight visit with an inmate at Mule Creek State Prison in Ione just before 3 a.m. last November. Now, 4 months later, the Amador County coroner confirmed her family's fears, finding the death was a homicide. The coroner says she was strangled.
How could they just,
So I guess for a couple months, he got away with it because in another report that I read, he came out of the visit saying his wife passed out. Now, 3 months later, they said she was strangled. So he got away with it for a little while. But once again, why was she visiting this man? And she sounded like she had a promising life.
Let this happen and just don't get it.
Armand Torres says the prison should be held accountable. He says his mom was visiting her husband.
Am I bugging? Like, am I wrong for thinking why was she going to visit this dude in the first place? Like, why would she want to? I get it, being loyal if she was married to him before he went to prison, but if you knew this man's crimes, why were you visiting him? And why wasn't the family like, Mom, why you visiting this dude?
David Brinson there.
They would read the Bible together. He was in school in there because she was pushing him to try to be this better person.
But Brinson is...
And he's never getting out. He got 4 consecutive life sentences plus 20 years. He's never getting out. What was her motivation? And, I guess she was going up to the jail, spending the night. He was putting that D on her. That jail D that probably been up in the butthole or 2. But I'm just saying, am I wrong? Get in the comment section. Let me know.
serving 4 consecutive life terms with a 20-year determinate sentence on top of that, without the possibility of parole.
Like I've been telling you, look, 4 consecutive life terms, 20-year determinate sentence, no possibility of parole. There is no future for her with this man. She's 62. She got her own business. She was better off going to get a little 25-year-old, showering him with gifts, letting him dry the whip, and blowing her back out. Because, you know, she going up there spending the night with a prisoner. Trust me, he was getting some booty.
All after his 1993 conviction of 4 murders.
My mom was just
4 murders. What did she want with him? Why wasn't her family, like, going out of their mind trying to stop this?
left alone, and she, called for help, I'm sure. And there's nothing she could do.
Officials say the criminal investigation is still underway. So as of now, no one's been charged with Dowell's murder. But it happened during a family visit, which the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation website describes as a visit in private apartment-like facilities on prison grounds that can last approximately 30 to 40 hours. It was just after 2 a.m. on November 13th when CDCR says Brinson used the phone in that apartment-like facility to tell officers his wife had passed out.
So they was on a visit that could last 30 or 40 hours. We don't know when he called them. He could have been having her in there dead all this time, just biding his time. And at the time he probably told them, it could have been, visit almost over. He could have been having relationships with an unalive body. We don't know what that sick motherfucker was doing.
Given the history that this guy has, we kind of just,
And I forgot, no one's been charged. Who else was in the room with him to not be having no one charged? Let me know. Get in the comment section. Maybe I'm crazy.
I wanted to know, how is it even, possible for them to be unsupervised?
The CDCR website shows inmates blocked from those privileges are limited to those on death row, those convicted of sex offenses, those going through the reception process upon arrival to a prison, or anyone under disciplinary restrictions. There's no mention of multiple murder convictions. Do you think that policy should change moving?
Yeah, I definitely think multiple murder convictions should be on a list of no sex visits, no spend the night visits, because I'm pretty sure you're not too supervised for those 30 hours. What are they coming to do? Knocking on the door? What if you mid-stroke? You gotta hop up and what's the supervision on that?
Moving forward?
It has to. There has to be something has to be done, because it's not fair.
But it's a sweet deal. I'm doing life in prison, and I'm able to lay up and get some real physical cooch. I might can even produce some kids while I'm in here. Why fuck that up? He must have found out somebody on the street. Like I said, a young nigga was hitting that cooch. Sorry to sound disrespectful. May she rest in peace. But I'm just brainstorming on what happened. And we all know the only thing that threatens a man in prison, definitely that's getting visits and getting coochie, is, hey, I'm not coming here no more. I got a new man. I want more. And he flipped out.
CDCR says inmates have to meet strict criteria for these family visits, like sustained good behavior, for example. And they say the visits are meant to support family connection and rehabilitation. And Dowell's family did say that she had visited Brinson several times before this, and those visits seem to have gone well. So
you see, she done visit him, he done LD'd her. If you don't know what that means, that's on you. He done LD'd her and held her. She was good. She was happy. I guess 62 years old, successful businesswoman, and visiting and married to a man in prison for 4 murders. I don't find nothing strange with it. If you don't.
say at the time they didn't really think much of it. Like they now believe they probably should have. Back to you.
You think? Yeah, of course y'all probably should have had an issue with it. Y'all let the fact that she was getting her backbone out by an inmate that probably was a booty bandit. Y'all let that fact cloud y'all judgment. Of course her judgment was cloudy because she was getting the LD. And she didn't have to deal with him on a regular basis. So she had in her mind the best of both worlds. I got my business. I really can't blow no money on this dude. And I'm getting the LD and I ain't got to deal with him much. Some phone calls and whatever. Yeah, y'all should have stepped in.
And our investigative team also looked into what, if any, security measures are in place during those prison visits. The CDCR operations manual shows that inmates have to present themselves for account at least 4 times within a 24-hour period, and the watch commander can also order unscheduled inspections. But otherwise, the manual explains every effort is made to ensure the inmate's privacy.
So, right, the inmate got privacy, but 4 visits up to 24 hours, and they can just pop in when they want to, and the odds of that is probably very low. So she could have been in there, I guess, in between those 4 visits, and we just assuming that they keeping the rules and following the rules. But like I always say over here, I present you with the facts. I give you my opinion on those facts. If you like how I do that, click that like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, click all so you can get notifications every time I do one of these videos. It's how your favorite channel got big. People gave them a shot. If you're a supporter of the channel, much love and respect goes out to you. Much love and respect, I salute. And if you're one of those haters and support this type of behavior, cut the shit. That part.